Snowed in. This is going to be probably like a 30-minute video. I'm snowed in with the hubby. He's out trying to do some more cleaning. Don't mind my shaky phone. And I told him like, hey, I might have to go in my room, my backup room. We have a spare room, of course, as a woman. I can't even tell you how many things I have. I literally, not that I want to show all my business, my closet is full. The main bedroom's closet is full, and I have one of those Z racks with all the clothes and stuff. And yeah, so that's a way to organize. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I needed a little time just to upload because you guys are probably like, oh, wow, she puts all this stuff on her community tab. And I don't like to get in people's business. It comes up on my timeline, but I know how to repel bad energy. You got to do that in your life. A lot of people make fun of that, but you know what? Tesla talked about everything being energy. Albert Einstein talked about that. And that is all you are at the end of the day, right? So I try to use mine for good when I can. And some people use theirs for deception. So that's when I have a problem with it. I first came onto this space many years ago. You guys know I share some of my law studies. Of course, now you guys have idiots now saying Dirty Diana because some of us like to teach law. Did you know that was Princess Diana's favorite song because Prince Charles did her so dirty? So I actually think that's funny. And it's like, yeah, good. And yeah, let God deal with some of these creeps because they try to be God and they try to take the calling you have from God and they try to pervert it. That's what a lot of these scoundrels are doing on here. There's like two sets of people. Why can't we have more middle of the road normal people on here? It's literally what, just saints and scumbags now? Is that what we're doing? It's really, really embarrassing. But I don't get into some of these discussions because some people love name dropping other people. I don't like certain channels like that Jay's rants. I mean, pretty soon it's going to be Jay's rants and ticks because all he does is have like a horrible tick and he can barely speak, but he likes to make fun of like all women, even white women, whoever. So if people don't like that energy to them, they shouldn't be putting it on other people. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to go in any spaces. It's where my channels go. It's people from those spaces who come on my channel. And I'm trying to, I'm not, that picky when it comes to who I view. There's a lot of great people who, are on my frequency. And that's what it's about at the end of the day, is being with like-minded people or around them. But you got a lot of scumbags down here that like to hide behind their images. So I'm really sensitive. And when I call women out, it has to be like a huge thing. I don't always tend to do that because there is such a rise now. It's like all men from whatever sectors, right or wrong, try to band together because there is like this attitude of woman hate. So I can see how the pendulum swings the other way, and some women feel like they have to do whatever it takes to survive, and I understand that. So I'm not being insensitive. Everyone's talking about the Shira 7 thing and all of that. You got that against, the spiritual whistleblower. When I first came on YouTube, I was watching a lot of spiritual whistleblowers. She was really good talking about, narcissistic family dynamics. We may not agree on every little thing because although, I had a mom that had some of those tendencies, it wasn't as severe as hers. And, my mom is, advanced in age, and I had to forgive and, make that peace with her. And it's way, way different. So again, everyone is, has their own right to deal with things the way they want, right? So no one, has a right to make anyone feel bad needlessly. No one's here trying to bully anyone, but there is like a cult of personality where the people who are watching can be so blinded. And this happens with like a lot of leaders, right, wrong, or indifferent. If they say the message that you like, you're going to gravitate toward it. So I never agreed with Shira's message as far as hooking up with married men. A girl like her would get beat up in my time, okay? That type of snubbing your nose at women and then calling yourself a girl's girl, that makes no sense, right? And to set women up to, okay, it is great to have a guy who helps you and provides, but just to solely base a relationship on that is what opens the door to abusive situations, infidelity. And some women like that, they don't care because they are devoid of any real feelings. This is, bringing a bad example on your kids or whatever. I think you are a scumbag if you're teaching women to do that. And the women who follow that mythology, like, yeah, as long as he pays your bills, you do that, you're going to get the bad karma that comes your way. And how you start is how you finish. I never promoted that. I never agree with that type of stuff. And I wouldn't do that to another woman. I think it's really grimy. I think it's a very lesbian move. Like, oh, you're so in competition with the treatment that the woman's getting before you that you want to take that for yourself. Well, there's millions of men in the world, and you know what I mean? If you're so amazing, if you're such a high value woman, you wouldn't have to do that. A high value man who is available would, you know what I mean, want to talk to you. And these are women who come from a dysfunctional culture, which tells you that, okay, as long as he's providing, he can do whatever he wants. That wouldn't be enough for me. Yeah, if you want to provide, that's great, but loyalty is important too. Why can't you have both? And people who promote just that one side, it's because they can't get both out of a situation. And just because you have a dysfunctional situation doesn't mean, okay, great, you work through it, you navigate it, and you keep it to yourself. You could, talked about other things. We could make other different types of videos for young women to get ahead and to be independent without using your toxic lifestyle as some type of blueprint. So you have spiritual whistleblower who's coming out and, exposing it. And there's a lot of people too, there's different ways to find out. And as someone who lost someone near to me, they would at least be an obituary, an homage to the person, a tribute, especially if you worked in that field for so many years. It wouldn't be nothing just to put that up. And it's fine if it's a cover, if it's a divorce, if it's whatever, but just say what it is. Some people get embarrassed. And so, they'll say that that's what it is. But a lot of these toxic relationships, they'll go as far as when the children are up to a certain age and then they'll split or whatever. It's like, if you're going to say it, say the whole thing. Because this is the type of girl who'll say like, oh, we'll call women dusty for not following their blueprint. And it's like, no, being someone's side hoe for many years. And then I'm like, oh, that's why they have the number 7. You're going to take a holy number. That's crazy. And with my channel, yeah, it's called Dia Dash, but that's short for my name, Diana. And it's a little different than giving yourself a whole new name. So Shira's name is Letitia. It's not even Shira. It's not whatever. And the 7 is because I guess she waited 7 years as the side thing, right? And just waited until it was her. That is such an unhealthy thing to teach young girls, and her own 2 girls too. And the girls who promote that, I mean, they're scandalous. Like, that is a prostitute mindset, because you don't even care about love at all. You're not even worried about, it's like, it's really, really strange. And people who are seemingly wealthy, they're supposed to live a certain amount of time. So none of it makes sense. I think it's probably a whole lie. Okay. It could be to save face or whatever. And hey, you know, you guys will believe whatever. And I find it interesting, you know, how people will, you know, they'll just have their favorite so-called cult leader, and right, wrong, or indifferent, without much evidence, people will apt to believe literally anything. So it could be a whole test to see how gullible some people are on here, which is sad, right, guys? It's kind of sad. So that's not a channel I support. I don't bring up people's names too much, but you know, they were a self-admitted witch and does all this stuff. Who knows? This is not something that is conducive for long-term results. I mean, you're just, you know, dealing with magical thinking. That's why I tell people you can be plugged into God, or you can be hearing voices from the dark side. And a lot of that stuff can be trauma-induced, whatever, right? But repelling some of this energy, not taking it in, yes, especially with the people who follow it, you know what that is too. I don't allow people to come on my space and spam my channel with any nonsense. I like to hear all sides of the story. And that's why it's so important for women to find their own lanes on this channel, you know, and they are starting to do that more and more, because instead of empowering toxic men, women need to expose that and, like, you know, uplift the guys who are doing the right things. There are a lot of great men who do rise to the occasion, who can be really great husbands and life partners and all of that stuff. And you can have a balance where a man can be a man. He can want to provide maybe like most of the situation, but a woman, yeah, doesn't she want to, you know, do her thing too? We like having our stuff. I like contributing to my future. I'm not being pressed. I'm not being nickeled and dimed. That's great. But at the same time, I'm not going to just be like super helpless and then teach women, yeah, you know, just, you know, look for this and that and make it all about finances. Because if you don't like the person, that could be a whole mess. And then where is that leaving you? You're crippling yourself. Don't you want to be more than that, you know? And that's what's going to keep a guy's attention for a long time, because you're going to be multifaceted. You're going to have different talents, right? You don't have to teach this type of scamming or whatnot, right? You can just attract just being yourself, you know? And the best situations will come. I know it's cliche, when you're not looking for it. I mean, hey, I was working at freaking Dunkin' Donuts slinging coffee. And usually those type of jobs, that's where you get like a high influx of different professionals or different people. I personally don't like drinking that stuff. But, you know, when I work there, I drink it for a little bit, but, you know, my palate has changed or whatever. I like Jim's organic coffee. That's actually one of my favorites. And so, yeah, he just came by and he was like nice every day. And it was one of those things. And then, you know, we did some dates and he wasn't pushing any type of, you know, weird stuff. He was like a gentleman, which was very nice and that I respected. Really patient, considerate, and we just made time for each other. And when a person cares about you enough, they will make time for you. This person commute to work was literally like an hour and a half, and they would spend time after the fact. It was crazy because it was like long distance at first and it just happened like that. But you can tell when someone is carving out time, and time is money too. And someone that's going to want to invest in you long term, they need to get to know you a little bit too. You have to show too, like, a lot of the times they'll be attracted to someone who shows some independence or whatever, and they'll want to make their lives easier. But they do want to see like you are a team player, even if they're not expecting you to contribute too much or do whatever. They want to see that you're willing to do something. Maybe you want to buy groceries, maybe whatever. or buy your own products. You know, us women, we like our own things, right? From makeup to whatever. I've been actually at Ulta. This is a great brand. This is one of the most affordable brands at Ulta, is Morphe. I love this brand. I got this palette. I think it was like 13. I'm not quite sure. But for the price, and I go there because I get my, so I'm in my backup bedroom here. You can see some of my, you don't see all of it, but I got like some of my products here, as you can see. I like this eyebrow pencil, so I just kind of, you know, because in the 90s, we overplucked our eyebrows just a tad. So to fill it in, so this is like, I think it's like $10. It's great. It has the spoolie on one side. I know some people say, you know, I'm not sure if it's Benefit Society or Polite Society. There's another brand, they're like, oh, for your eyebrows, but it's kind of overpriced. So I do like this brand here. And this palette, I mean, look how gorgeous those colors are. And, you know, this is a great thing for everyday wear. I usually just put the lighter shade. And of course, I got, well, I don't have all my stuff here. And this little guy, I have my brushes, which this is a great way to keep it dust free. Put it in here. Keeps it dust free. So I just use my different shape brushes, which is great. Of course, just try to keep them clean and wash them when you can. And I put the lighter one. So for everyday wear, I'm using like the lighter one, and I put this little guy here kind of like on the corners, and it helps. So it does. I mean, you don't need much, like less is more. I wear less makeup now than I did when I was younger, and it's been preserving my skin. I don't use any foundation. I just use eye stuff. And for those two who are asking about that picture with me with the tattoo, I think it was on, it was actually on this side. I've since removed it. It was my son's name, if you guys are wondering. Some of you weirdos, they're like, was that a guy's name? It was my son's name, okay, when he was born. It was just for him. There was no guy with his name. He wasn't a junior. I picked his name, whatever. And so I had it here. And so I ended up lasering it off. So I have no more tattoos, which is great, which is more classy. Of course, when people are like, oh, this and that. Well, I removed it. But it's weird, like when you show pictures, oh yeah, I got to do some of my arm. I know I've been eating good, guys. I got to do my arm workouts again. But I don't have any tattoos on my arms, nothing like that. I took it off. I thought it was like a little trashy. Yeah, I didn't like it. I was young, dumb, whatever, you know. Some of my relatives were into tattoos and stuff. There's some girls that have like full sleeves and all that. And I'm like, I realized that was not my look. That was not my thing. And I immediately learned to hate it and took it out. Hey, what does that mean? Are you over here just spamming my channel? That's unfortunate. Well, I'm not going to be on here long anyway. Be nice. Can you do one of those? What does that mean? You can do that. Why don't you go first? You go first, you silly thing. Put my sweater back on. But anyways, it's snowing. We got like literally almost 3 feet of snow. So no work tomorrow. Maybe I'll upload tomorrow if I get some free time. And it's okay if I do it in a separate room because I keep it classy anyway with whatever topics we're talking about, as you guys know. And yes, I gotta repel this bad energy. Keep it respectful. I'm not gonna remove anything unless you say something like really absurd. You know, then we'll have a problem. I'm sitting on this awesome thing. This is like a real alpaca. Look how nice and warm this is. This is kind of one of my skins that I was given as a gift. I am fortunate enough to live near some hunters, and they're so generous. I'm getting like deer antlers soon and all this fun stuff. Let's see how oh god, people getting stuck in the snow or what? I still got my car got shoveled around a little bit, but there's no moving it at all. But yeah, guys, you gotta repel the bad energy. If this is from that freaking handicap guys channel, you guys can beat it. And I think it's kind of outrageous that some of you waste your time to make fun of freaking grown ass women. Why don't you go play with yourself and your freaking micropene and whatever and your sterile asses? Like, and it's good that some of you guys are making decisions not to procreate, because I don't think the world needs to see that. And so that's why there's a lot of women who are making channels and, you know, telling some of these creeps where to go. I mean, the guys are so disgusting, right? The bad ones, that they're like clamoring for women's benefits to be removed so they can be stuck in abusive situations. If men were doing what they're supposed to do, right? You know, for the toxic ones, because I'm obviously with the healthy one and there are healthy ones out there, let's be real. If it wasn't for the toxic ones, the need for social programs wouldn't even be a need for that. Okay. But if it wasn't for that, a lot of children probably would have starved, probably would have been in tough shape. A lot of these guys are forcing women into almost like a prostitution lifestyle because they, you know, want to make the mess, right? And then they expect the women to clean it up, right? And then they want to give them pushback when they want them to be accountable. And the women are too smart for that. They're saying, no, that's not going to happen. You play, you pay. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's how it should be. And then, you know, you get this market now where women have been so downtrodden that they're clamoring for the abusive women who are talking about abusing men. And it's like, hey, we should find a middle ground. You know, I don't advocate, you know, abusing a guy until he's dead, like Shira does. But at the same time, I can appreciate that there is like a level of pushback for, you know, not dealing with men who don't want to provide for their responsibilities and their families. And just knowing what kind of audience that she has accumulated, just know that there are a lot of minions out there. And that's what you guys have to deal with in your dating pool. And that's what you guys get for being so tough on some of us Gen X women, right? Or millennial women. Now, the next ones are going to be even worse, even tougher. And it's like, it's unbelievable. The double standards are unbelievable. A lot of men are getting into their feelings. Some of them are so out of their mind. They get in their feelings when their mistresses go on and move on. Like, excuse me, you couldn't even be respectful to your own wife, and you're getting all teary-eyed that your mistress don't want to deal with you and wants to go find a real man. I find it egregious that you're getting some of these conversations on here, and that's showing the narcissism that we're dealing with. How are you? Where are you? Yeah, we don't play. Okay, here we go. There we go. I'll just it's all harassment, guys. If you come on here, come with the abusive. Well, if you're reporting from state jail, you can stay there. Maybe that's why you have to stay there. And how are you in jail and you're on the internet? How does that even make any sense? All right. Stop coming over here with your hood mentality. I don't put up with that. That is some very degenerate and, you know, as they say, dusty behavior. You know, there's some things that I do relate to a point, and I can see what's happening. But at the same time, you know, I don't agree with, you know, promoting, endorsing toxic men, because some of these channels, they're like, yeah, doesn't matter what he's about, he can be in the Epstein files, and as long as he's paying your bills. Like, I don't think so. That's not how I roll. Again, it's just making them like psychotic, and you should just starve them out altogether. Okay. Yeah, did you? I know you smuggled it because you probably had it in your hairy ass. So please stop spamming my chat. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. Okay, I'm sorry you haven't got enough attention in your life by women. That's unfortunate. Sounds like a personal problem, bro. Why don't you put some snow on your balls? That's what you should do. Go outside, jump in the snow naked. Oh yeah, you say you're in state prison. That's too bad. I don't know, go to sleep or something. No, the snow ain't that bad. Actually, it's pretty good. Yeah, stuck in the house a little bit. I've been cleaning and just doing my quick video. Maybe I'll come online tomorrow and we'll do some chit-chatting. And yeah, some of the good men, you guys are welcome here, but the shitty ones are not. At least I give it to you guys straight. I don't tell women, hey, just use up these fools for nothing. No, I actually I like to have love in my life and someone who leads by example and someone who's generous. Why can't you have both? And someone who's loyal. Yeah, I seen that because I have one who's like literally glued to my hip every day. I see what he does all the time. And it's like, he's my biggest fan. He's always giving me props and he's been there for many years. And so I know. So when you got freaking losers like all men cheat, all men do this. Yeah, well, that's the standards you allow for in your life. I'm not going to allow that in my life. I never did. I'm not into that swinger shit. I don't care. I know people who make mad money, have their own businesses, but their lifestyles are so degenerate. I'm like, that's still not a win for me. You know what I mean? I don't care about that. You know, I'm not jealous of that shit. I don't know. I guess I did. I can hear some Yugo accent. What does that even mean? Yugo? Is that Yugoslavian? That's not wrong. I missed the compliment. I guess I did. Maybe you have to repeat it. I guess. Talk to me like I'm slow. Talk to me like I'm 6 months old. Because I don't know how you meant it. You guys are coming from different places. So you guys have like different points of view and stuff. So I don't know like how your humor is. And I don't know what Yugo means. Slavic, Portuguese American. I guess why? Because I'm white. Everybody's Slavic. Is that why? Depending on your history. Oh yeah, we're all so I don't know. I can't claim Slavic. Just because we're white doesn't mean we're all like the same. Rise up. Great. Snow equals white skin. Well, I never considered myself white. This is white. Just like I told my friend's biracial kid when he was growing up, he was brown. I was like, you're brown. I even taught him. I was like, you're not black. You're brown. I'm not white. I'm beige. When I get makeup or anything, it's not white. I'm not putting white on my skin. So we got to get over those color things, right? I'm actually beige. So maybe this could be like I don't know, a light beige, depending. But if I'm out in the sun, I can get really tan. And I was born in Massachusetts, but my family migrated from Portugal. And we have some relatives in Canada and India. You check the plows to make sure. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Yeah, no one's leaving the street, so no one's going to work. Going to work on Wednesday. I'm like, oh, that's fine. That's just surprising. Portuguese have similar, yeah, some people, because we're very different than Spanish. We are, even though they try to push us into the damn ocean, I don't know, maybe we're the remnants from Atlantis. It's just the way, the enunciation. Although I do, I've learned a little bit of Italian, and I've picked up a little bit of Hebrew even also from my biblical studies. But yeah, Portuguese is a little different in Brazil. They'll say ciao, cuchijinho, like they have a little bit more of a twang with their accent. But in Azores, yeah, it's a little bit more, a little bit more dry. Yeah, it can come across almost like German. Like it can come across even like Latin. Maybe it goes back to Latin. It can come across even Russian, I guess, right? It can come across different ways. So it goes to show maybe they were like one tribe or similar tribes, and then they, migrated, and, so we're kind of part of the diaspora too, right? And there was Sephardic Jews in Azores. So if you look at the DNA compilation, it says that some of us have even African DNA. So, which is interesting because I had like like a mole removed on my elbow. It was blue, and it's notorious for Africans. And my aunt had it too. So I had like a blue, it was called nebulous. It's so weird. It was literally on my elbow. Can't really see it. And I had it surgically removed, but it was blue. So I had like a blue part of my skin. It was like the weirdest thing. And they like cut it out. But when I looked it up, it was like it's a trait that is big in African people too. So something happened with our lineage, I guess. Haha, Spain and Portugal are very different cultures. And it's true, we can clash. My son's half Puerto Rican. Me and his father were like oil and water. I worked with a Puerto Rican girl, and she was just too loud and obnoxious for me. But you know, I was nice to her if she needed rides, but you know, we sometimes bumped heads. She was very hard-headed and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot of nuances. Not everyone's going to be the exact same, and I don't always understand everything in Spanish. If anything, I have to look it up. My mother taught herself that by watching the novellas. So growing up, she was all into her soap operas, so I would watch it sometimes, and so I know some words like basura. I picked up a second job at Chipotle for a little while for 2 years, so I had to learn a little bit of Spanish, cuchillo, like different things, right? The knife and stuff like that. We say gallina for chicken. They say pollo, a pollo, something like that with the P, right? So it's really different how they speak. I just picked that up as a gig because they were actually paying all right, and it was like right after the pandemic. So I was working for myself for a little while, but I was just like, hey, let me just stack up whatever. And it was like, you know, you were able to take food home and stuff. I do not promote eating from there too much salt, although I know how to make my rice really good now. Their little secret is you add a little bit of lime juice and salt and cilantro, but I would use Himalayan salt because they have white salt. I would literally wake up and my hand would be like super puffy. It would be so bad. Actually, I need a little bit of lotion for my hands. It was so bad, guys. It was terrible. It was like pins and needles, and so it's like super bad for you. This is from Portugal too, from this little shop that I go to. I love their products. It's all so like so luscious, and you know, I'm supporting my culture. Although I identify as a Massachusettsan native, and I am like the little Indian in my family. I was the one who was doing the foraging. I got a bow and arrow. I mean, you name it. I can't wait till the weather gets better, guys. I got my bow and arrow right here. I got all my cool stuff. You ever watched the movie Apocalypto, where the guy was running and he was using his little blow dot thing? I have that too. This is pretty cool. It started off as pink, but then I painted it black. So I think this is a compound bow. There's my deer right there, guys. My deer. Diana. Now you're going to see my name everywhere, right? It's kind of cool. Yep. And I got to get some carbon arrows. So, yeah, I'm into a lot of stuff. And I was just, you know, I was, in my immediate family, the only one that was born and raised on this soil. And, did the spirit of this soil definitely influence me. I'll tell you that right now. I was the one that first introduced my family into herbs, you know, because they make alcohol legal in this society. But I hear that you can control people more with alcohol than you can with herbs. So I was kind of a forward thinker, a flower child, if you will. And now other people are starting to catch up a little bit, you know. So I repel, you know, the bad energy with information, education, a little bit of patience, and hopefully it can open people's minds too, that we're all just American, we're all here, we're all just souls, just, you know, trying to figure it out until we transition to the next, you know, phase, right after this. And that's how I am. So I use my channel to try to, you know, connect with other people when I can. Let's see, DS. Brazil has lots of other cultural influence in Portugal. Is it the USA for the Portuguese? Yeah, a lot of Brazilians and Portuguese people, they get along. My family, they go to different churches. A lot of them are Christian, so a lot of the churches have Brazilians and Portuguese people together, and they get along really well. And my father passed away a few years ago, and my mother married a gentleman from Brazil, and they get along really well. He seems to be really outgoing, and they bond well, and they understand each other very well too. And I think she was like 79, so like love can happen at any time too. And his name is Israel, so I think that's another sign too. So, it's a blessing in disguise, and they get along great and they understand each other. So they both speak Portuguese, and my sister was married to a Brazilian for many years. She has 4 children by a Brazilian. So yeah, there's always like some type of, affinity between all of us. So yeah, we can get along pretty well too, and they're generally pretty nice. They're just a little bit different. They have more of like this expositionist. We're more conservative. I think on the beaches in Rio, maybe they're more into, showing off their bodies, wearing thongs and all of that stuff. I am real. Why are you asking me? Are you a real? What does that mean? What's that little yellow thing? Have you heard of a boy band named NSYNC? Yes, I grew up listening to that and the Backstreet Boys. Yes, I am, Emily. Why would you ask that? Are you? Yes, I have 2 kids. The last time I checked, thank you, sweetheart. I do. Yeah. Pretty a few years. Maybe I'll be hitting premenopause too. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I guess some people do ask that. Sometimes it's kind of weird. But I don't think I look masculine. Do you think I look masculine, Emily? Last time I checked, no. Do you need to see my birth certificate? I was just confused. How so? I mean, I wouldn't look at you and think. I've seen very feminine ones in the area because they're there, right? And like they usually come out and tell you, or it's on their channel. But if someone doesn't say that they are or present that or never claim that, and I'm not sure if this is the first time you were on my channel, but I've have shared pictures of me with my kids even. And I'm not 6'2" or anything like that. I'm very petite. I just like to say Brazilian do have a deep voice. Well, I've smoked for many years, honey, and my voice isn't that deep. So I've heard a lot of deeper. Actually, there's African American women with a lot deeper voices than me. It's a cultural thing too. Most of them, not all Brazilian women have deep voices. A lot of them can have very feminine. And depending on if I'm tired or whatever, I can sound different. Sometimes I sound a little bit more, raspy on these, devices, but I don't think it's enough to say, are you a woman or not? That's a little weird. So I think it is kind of rude, but I don't take it personal. And I don't think my voice is that deep to warrant that, And I don't think most Brazilian women have deep voices. Maybe it's more sultry, I would like to say. More like, hey, It's more like a grown woman voice, probably, I would say. But that's my natural voice, darling. I don't know what to tell you. I do try to drink tea. I use honey to kind of coat it. But yeah, it's probably from, years of on and off cigarettes and things like that. Although, I don't promote women to do that. Some women are like, ew, that's so whatever. The same women that put me down for that are like super obese. It's like, pick your poison. No one's perfect. It's okay. I'm not judging you. Don't judge me. In the 60s, it was a big deal. And yes, I try to offset with healthy habits. But it is what it is, There are some guys who have really squeaky, high-pitched voices, but I don't think that determines if you're feminine or masculine, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm trying to say? But yes. Some people do exercises when they want to practice. But yes, and I know a lot of trans out there. I know Shira7 has a trans brother. They love using my name Diana. I don't know what that is, right? But you know, it does show I'm female. If you must know, there's an F there. Hello, holla. Let me just go check in with the hubby. I think I just heard him come in. But they do like to use the name Diana. And I don't know what to tell you, sweetheart. They probably like it. It is a pretty name, isn't it? And maybe because Wonder Woman, she was the goddess to the trans community because they all want to be her. And if you look it up, it was like, I guess maybe the real men, there wasn't enough real men in this society. So she had to use the women as warriors and the eunuchs, and some of the trans rallied behind her to fight, you know, the oncoming threat. So I think a lot of it has to do with that too, because when you just hear that name. I have a deeper voice too, but you know, I can do that too, like, hey, I can go higher. I'm not gonna do all that here, but I do sing, I do practice. So when I'm singing, I can, you know, you're like, like you can, you know, stretch it. But when I'm talking just regular everyday vernacular, this is my voice. Like, what can I do? You know, when I'm on the phone all day, I'll try to refine it. And you know how it is too. If you're talking a lot, it's going to wear on your vocal cords and it gets tired. So it's going to be a little, you know, it's going to go down a little bit. Like, what can you do? You know? And some women, they practice and they do a good job of it. You know, I know some women who, when they're around certain people, they fix it and they, like, you know, try to make it more high pitch. But at the end of the day, does that make you a woman? It really doesn't, because there's grown ass men who do vocal exercises and they're still men. So, you know, don't get hard on yourself if your voice is a little bit more sultry. That's okay. It's better. What are you going to do? Sound like Betty Boop and be like, you know, with little cartoon voice. This is the least interactive YouTube I've been to. That's fine. Then go on. Well, you can at least give me a like and keep it moving. I was actually talking to the person before you, Zach. So what kind of interaction do you need? And how is this not? All right, then go on. I was talking to the girl before you. This is literally mainly a girl's channel. So then why are you here? Have a good night. I see why you're from New England. Why is that? Elaborate what you mean. I don't have this much negativity when I'm out in the world. I generally don't have any type of disdain, but it's okay. Are like you. Yes, we are. I know. Oh, really? That's what you think. I think that's what you are. I know. Yeah. Well, just the fact that you're talking like that shows that that's what you are. That's exactly what you are. She is definitely not from New England. And what's wrong with New England, though? That's what I like to know. What do people have? That's actually the original 13 colonies. So what's so wrong about it? That's what I like to know. And that's sad that you have a problem with women from the East Coast. I know, because he's probably a soy boy. I know these kind of losers. They're not real. That's not a real man. And of course, he can only talk like that if he's even a man behind a screen, because he's a loser. And I know, because women on the East Coast, we are tougher than some of these guys. Some of them are such soy boys and they're really weak. So they get like a little intimidated, and I like to know, like, what would possess someone to just come on and say that. That's interesting. But I mean, that's probably the lineage he comes from. So obviously, if that's the type of energy you're giving out, it's because you're trash. Okay, you're such trash, you're under me, that you're on my channel and have the nerve to call people from New England trash. Okay, that's pretty sad. Well, please don't ever come out here. I like to see how they greet you. And, you know, I'll let others from out here know that's how you feel. So, you know, you better hide yourself, Zachary. You know, if that's your name, you have to hide because you're a little goon. And yeah, that doesn't make you tough when you come harass women and try to talk like that. But you go stay in the little, you know, town that you live in that you think is so great. Where are you from? Mississippi or somewhere? You know what I mean? You were probably a result of your mother screwing her brother. Who knows? But yet you're gonna talk about distinguished, educated people from the East Coast, right? That's okay. You can keep saying that. Just don't come out here then. Are very, especially in Maine. Yeah, some of them, but there is a lot of diversity over here. People from here, a lot of them come from the Caribbean, the Azores, and Cape Verde. I guess you guys don't realize how diverse Massachusetts and Rhode Island is. Who the hell hangs out in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont? I don't go up there unless I'm going hiking. Those are like... I'm not up there. But for traveling, that's fun. But there's people from all over here. My town is very diverse. There is brown, white, and everything in between. So we don't look at it like that over here. It's so weird. This must be from like really weird hillbilly towns or really ghetto, like, I don't know, really sheltered towns is what I'm saying. That's pretty sad. Hi, greetings from Africa. How are you, darling? I usually get along with some of the interactions from people in other countries. I suck at interacting with people. Well, Zach, you're a freaking piece of shit. Who the hell's gonna interact with pieces of shits? And you're probably someone that's using a fake name. So why don't you go like commit suicide tonight and do the world a favor? Why don't you just go on? Yeah, why don't you just go drink some bleach and do the world a favor? If you think I'm so horrible, then I hope I make you want to kill yourself. How about that? I know. I have more than you because I'm on here. I got more than you. And at least I lived a life. What have you done? At least I lived life. And you're over here on an evening. Where's your girlfriend? Where's your whatever? You know? I got people in the next room. What's up? Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, exactly. That means I lived a long life. Exactly. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And I still look better than you. Exactly. And I still look better than you. Where's your picture? I could be 99 years old. And with your attitude, the way you're talking, I know that that's the only attention you could get. Because no girl would even want to talk to you, be around you. Girls, look at this loser. Look at this loser harassing what he's calling an old lady. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Look at this. I know. Your mother's trash for having you. Exactly. I'm not going to waste my time even dealing with you. Mm-hmm. Old lady. Yep. This is obviously somebody that got personal. I know. This is showing how much you're so interested in my channel. That's great. Good. I'll be that. I'll be that. And I'm still better than you. I'll be that and I'm still better than you. That's right, Emily. They think that what they say matters. Like, oh. And who's looking for him? I know, right? Who's looking, so what? And who's looking for you, Zach? And they're here trying to learn something, but now they're realizing that how toxic some of you losers are, and that's why you guys are gonna die in cells. You're gonna die with nobody wanting to have your kid, and if they do, I hope they abuse your kid. That's what you deserve. Exactly. So what? They catch me on the replay. So what? You must be someone that knows me and that's really too involved in my situation. But that's good to know. Now I know what kind of alias you're using. That's totally fine. And I do like to see what kind of losers do come on my channel because that's telling me more about you than anything. So what? And this can keep going on and on. So what? I didn't even make a notification that was coming on. It's all right. It just shows that he's such a loser. Exactly. That's what you are. Clown, trash, loser. Yep, that's you. That's exactly what you are. Yep. I mean, this is how women are getting treated. All you're showing is this is how you got to do, ladies. Just got to repel this bad energy. You got this wannabe woman. I know, because they want to beat us so bad. He wishes he could wear some freaking women underwear, and he's probably thinking of being a transgender right now. He wants to cut off his peen. And women who are living their lives unapologetically wear all these names in the book. Well, thank God there's laws in this country to protect against abusive cunts like you. And that's what we'll do, and we'll continue to do. And you can only hide behind a screen, but you couldn't see me walking down the street. You couldn't even acknowledge anyone without going straight to jail, where you belong, where you get freaking pegged, which is probably what you like doing. You would treat other men better, right? Because you want to be pegged by a big, strong boy. That's what you want. But when you see a woman, especially someone who could even remind you of your mother, who could be even that, so what if I'm 40 or whatever, and you're going to hate a woman for living her life? Exactly, because you hate your mother, you hate yourself. So just take yourself out and stop freaking bothering, being a loser, showing what kind of loser you are. Because guess what? You're going to be that age one day too. And what? And you're going to die one day too. And what? That makes you cool? You think the clock's going to stop for you just because you're running your mouth and no one sees how ugly you are and how pathetic you are, and no one cares about your male loneliness, nothing, because this is what guys do with their free time. They come on women's channels and they're talking all this shit. You're not even worth the oxygen. So why don't you just take yourself out? Call me every name in the book. Don't make it true, loser. Don't make it true, okay? I have good quality people in my life. I'm not worried about a damn thing, bitch. You can worry about yourself, okay? So obviously I have people that like me enough. So who cares about what you think? You're going to call a married woman a hoe. That shows what kind of hoe you are and what kind of freaking trash you are. And no one's going to care when you're gone. No one's going to care. Yeah. He ruined himself, sweetheart. It was fine. He just needed to know what it was. No one's ruining anything. If anything, I talked 20 minutes past what I wanted to talk to, because I need to get dinner together and I have better things to do. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, we can just chit and chat. That's what I'm telling you guys. This live was about repelling bad energy, and you got to do it. They want to give you bad energy, you give it right back. This scumbag isn't ruining anything. He just ruined his own night. He just ruined his own time, because I'm over here making my own content. So I make a video and it can track. Sometimes my videos don't track until sometime later, and that's fine, but that's my content. And you're giving my channel engagement. You're giving it attention. So you're helping my algorithm. So thank you, Zach the dweeb. Thank you so much, because he wanted so much attention. Because you think he can get a girlfriend without paying for it? He probably fantasizes about choking women out. Exactly. You're going to end up in jail, and a big, strong boy is going to choke you out. And that's going to be the funniest thing. That's why a lot of guys don't deserve a lot of empathy from me. You don't. Because you can't even come on this forum and mind your business, but you know what I mean? No respect, no home training, no respect for their elders, no nothing. Don't matter how old I am. And how am I trying to be young? Because I'm youthful? How am I trying to be young if I'm shaking my ass in a miniskirt? This is the kind of idiocracy we're dealing with. And some of you ladies who are seeing this, please take heed to that too. A lot of these guys are straight up cowards. They're not going to say nothing in public because they know what would happen, but they're going to wait. And obviously I'm that important to you because you waited to come on and do a live. If I didn't like someone, I'm not going to go waste my time in their live. I'm not going to insult them. I'll say my opinion like I did in the beginning of this video about whoever content creator, but it's on my channel and it's my point of view. And I literally spend like 5 minutes on it and I keep it moving. But it goes to show it's either trolls from the channels like that that stuttering J guy. It's probably somebody from his channel that he's sending over. It's like, yeah, look how you guys talk about women. Nobody cares. God's going to deal with you anyway. You're going to be sterile. I hope you're full of vaccines. You're not going to reproduce. Your kids are going to come out half retarded and no one's going to care. You know, I just reported him. It's not even worth the extra mention, but you could have your own channel. You could be minding your business and you're going to have, and that you're going to draw some of these women haters. And it's like, good, enjoy it. And the best way to block it is to continue to smile. I'm still smiling. I'm not upset. I'm not anything. I'm going to have a good rest of the night. I'm enjoying myself. These guys obviously are the miserable losers that continue to have to talk about us all the time. And when we just try to have our own conversation, they try to make our videos about them. That goes to show we are that important, and it's like unbelievable. It's unbelievable, the obsession. And that's why I just ask God to protect me however I can, because even at my age, and I tell some of these creeps, I'm like, I'm glad I'm aging out. Do you know how much freaking stalker shit I got? You know how many freaking losers? I'm the hoe, you guys are the hoe. I have freaking, don't even start. You guys are the ones raping women. You guys are the ones who can't keep it in your pants. You guys are the ones that are spreading all the STDs, and you're calling women hoes. Hey guys, you're gonna get what's coming to you. And I think it's just so funny. So anytime I hear more like, you know, hardships that come from that side of the fence, hey, enjoy it, because you're going to eat your damn words. All right. And it goes to show that a woman can't just enjoy her channel without having all this stuff. It's like, I'm glad I'm aging out. Even at my age, I still get harassed with this bullshit. Imagine when I was 20. You know how many freaking crazy scumbags, you know how many protection orders I had to get on freaking idiots like this? Are you serious? It can become an obsession. That's why when you got women who are teaching you girls, hey, get that guy obsessed with you, do this, that is not a healthy way of doing things. You don't want these creeps to be obsessed. It's like, good, freaking, if I'm so this and that, ignore me and keep it moving. But the fact that you're fixated on our movements show that you're the one that has like a sick obsession. And maybe it's someone that you don't want to give attention to, or someone that tried to reach out and they see you frolicking and living your life obviously with someone else, and they hate you for it, and they're going to call you every name in the book. It's like the oldest game in town, and it's so played out, really. But I hope you guys learned something, that you need to just block the bad energy. Yeah, you can physically block them, you can mentally block them, but if you got to tell them off too, because they have no business coming into your yard, talking this nonsense, running their mouth, thinking they can get away with it. And it's like, yeah, they don't elaborate on what they're saying. They just throw in shit, and it just shows the hate they have for women. And it's like, great, well, women are going to continue to push back, and yeah, the system will not change to be easier for men. Why should it be? They would completely try to annihilate women altogether. Look how bad it is now. We wouldn't even need to employ the freaking government and law enforcement as much if we didn't have to protect ourselves around some of these creeps, right? So, hey, let them just do it to themselves. And the women who are playing games with you guys and running laps all over you guys and using you for everything that you have and pretending to like you, good. I hope they continue to do so. Let those women continue to teach other women. I just don't like when they're like, hey, go do it with married men. You girls should have enough integrity not to want to do that, because it is bad karma. It is bad energy. God does not like that. He's not going to send you somebody else's husband. But for the ones who are like, you know what I mean, putting the men's feet to the fire and making them prove themselves when you see freaking shitbags like this, yeah, I can definitely get behind that and support that. Okay, so yeah, no one even read this freaking Dusty. He just needs attention. He's just the biggest loser. But thanks for engaging in my channel. Allow him to go suck his own peen, because no one else would dare touch him. And that's what it is. And women like me, we're going to continue to tell these idiots where to go, and they hate that. And no sweat off my back. I've dealt with bigger fish out there, honey. You wish you were that important, that you were really getting under my skin. It's like, oh my gosh, What do I care what a little maggot got to say? Ooh, that's really gonna bother me. Like, you think I'm gonna like go lay in my bed now and go cry? No, honey, that's what you're gonna do because you just wasted your time and no one ruined my life. Emily, don't you worry. You're welcome on my channel anytime. And yeah, yeah, we Portuguese women, we are very feisty. We're not gonna put up with any shit from any old idiots. Okay, we'll let you know straight up. And you know, I'm open to all questions, respectful, and you've been really respectful. And you know, anytime we have another topic we'll go into, and maybe tomorrow I'll fire it up again. My I've been going at an hour. I thought I was only gonna go for 30 minutes, and I'm down to like 8% on my phone, so I'm going to go on and charge my phone. But thank you so much. Don't worry about the losers. They're going to continue to swim around. What else are cockroaches going to do? You're going to throw a little bit of breadcrumbs, even showing your face. They're still going to come up and be like, oh, you know what I mean? And try to give you some freaking aggravation and try to pull you off your course. That's fine. And a lot of them are just mad because they're not going to use my channel for free notes like some of them used to. And I was like, yeah, I realized what it was. A lot of people who watch your channel are literally binge hating your channel. They can be coming from other people's channels that you've said something about. Like, so what? They're just called flying monkeys. They really don't have anything going for themselves. And it's like, if they did, they wouldn't be hiding behind an icon. They'd at least show their face, but they know their face is not even good enough to market. So it's like, hey, yeah, I may be my age, but whatever age you are, that means that you're that much lower. So don't allow people to use to gaslight you with ageism and none of that stuff. It's like, hey, I'm happy I made it to this age and I'm doing my best and I'm going to continue to do my best. And if you got a problem with it, that just shows that you're somebody that knows me personally and that you're nothing but a bitch because it's someone that I probably told off and this is the only way they think they're doing something, or someone from someone else's channel, because I don't even deal with people like that or have any problems with anyone like that to even warrant this kind of behavior. So all this does say is that the trash is in the pudding. The ones who called it, dealt it, smelt it, dealt it. It's like, yes. And I love when the trash takes itself out. Thank you very much. Yes. And yeah, I'm sure they'll still be stalking my channel. They always do, because you know what? For someone to hate you or so-called hate you that much, they really love you. Okay? Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't even waste your time commenting. You would just go see what you. So this person was probably literally watching me this whole hour. So your haters are giving you the best watch time. They're looking at every little thing about you, and all you're doing is just helping my channel. So thank you so much for doing so, and just turn their poison into your pleasure, into your profit, and keep it moving. And that's how you do it. But thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Until next time, stay warm, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.